And we're live near Guadalupe and Haas. That's where another investigation is underway right now here in Mesa as to whether or not monsoon storms, perhaps a lightning strike, is to blame for this house fire. You know, he is a cancer survivor, a husband, a father to a 10-month-old baby. And Nick, we also learned they just got back from a Disneyland vacation the day before this crash happened. And happening today, Talking Stick Resort Arena, item number 29 on the City Council agenda, the multi-million dollars in renovations that's up for a vote and on the line. It's a repurposed fire hose, and it was donated by the Queen Creek Fire and Medical Department to some of these schools like this one here. Here's how it works. I'm going to show you. The teachers can hop up here and actually slip it over the door hinge like this one. First thing he teaches in his class is avoidance, and that's behind the wheel. So locking your doors and making sure your window is rolled up and driving away. They have a huge assignment on their own hands, these teachers, these advocates. This line is absolutely insane. You wonder just how many people they're actually going to fit into that convention center, guys. You know, one man is dead, and it's a very bizarre situation just found in the street right behind me here. It also helps drivers who may be illegally parking in these areas. It's going to try and persuade them from doing that. We put our trust in our employers and our banks and the places that we shop to keep our information safe, stored in data centers just like this one. I have once in my life run a half marathon. It was in Disneyland. It wasn't here. I cried, I think, at mile 7. So after hearing that loud bang, he grabbed the back of his neck, wondering what happened.
What do we know about what happened there?
Well, we're still waiting for what exactly caused this crash. That's what investigators have been out all night long doing. Here's what you need to look out for when you're buying these products for your kids. That AP seal that you'll find on a variety of products, that goes to show that they are non-toxic, and the company has decided to test those themselves. Ahead at 5, a Valley teen accused of terrorism this morning. A high school student will go in front of a judge after prosecutors say he was working in some way with ISIS. We're continuing to follow this developing story that we first broke right here on ABC 15. It's obvious the whole community is grieving here tonight. The whole state is grieving here tonight. It was retiring Senator John Kyle who opened up a seat for Republican Jeff Flake to run for office, winning against Democrat Richard Carmona in November of 2012. The librarian that she is, Lee Franklin, is shushing people here in the library.
Only for this.
Only
we are
for
not
this.
a shushing library.
Just for the television interview, okay?
Yeah.
And those down lines we know are so dangerous, obviously pulsing electricity through them most of the time. And you can see they are still scattering the roadways here in Scottsdale. Kaylee, good morning. It's called STEP, Selective Traffic Enforcement Program, and officers in the department creating a list of intersections that they want to focus on, including this one right here. This is 51st Avenue and Northern. They are taking action, putting some restrictions in place for outdoor enthusiasts to ensure those baby bald eagles can take to the skies come the spring.
We have some breaking news right now, some details at this hour of a deadly officer-involved shooting.
Police are telling ABC 15 the suspect attacked them, and this is the second deadly police-involved shooting in a 48-hour time span here. The latest happening near 35th Street, just south of Thomas.
Our own Megan Thompson live where the violence began at a Circle K store. What's going on there, Megan? What do we know?
Dan and Kaylee, it all started late last night when a clerk apparently from the Circle K right here behind me called 911 for help, saying a guy had thrown something through the window, causing damage to the store. That clerk was able to give police a description of that suspect that police broadcasted to other officers to be out on the lookout for. Well, minutes later, they caught up with a guy matching that very description in front of a house just a few streets away.
They contacted the suspect, engaged in some conversation. At some point, the suspect pulled out unknown objects and began to attack one of the officers.
A physical fight breaking out, and that's when the second officer felt like they had to shoot that suspect, who later died at the hospital. One officer was also hurt, taken to the hospital, but is okay and out this morning. There was a school, Papago Elementary, part of the Creighton Elementary School District, that was wrapped up in the crime tape surrounding this investigation, but they did wrap it up just about in the last hour or so. So that's the good news for parents trying to drop kids off from that area. Dan and Kaylee, we're also expecting an update from Phoenix Police in the next few hours or so, especially some clarity on what that unknown object was.
All right, Megan, thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Ticket to watch a game, say to take on the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow night, it's going to run you about $16.
They're the worst team in the league right now, no, hey?
It's really bad.
That's a factual statement. They are the worst team in basketball. But a city council vote goes forward anyway this afternoon. They're talking about a big price tag to renovate Talking Stick Resort Arena, $230 million to be exact, 150 of that coming from your tax dollars.
And that is where the controversy lies. Megan Thompson joining us live from outside Talking Stick Resort Arena. Megan, there's a lot of pushback from people who say our city needs this money to be spent in other areas.
That is the argument, Nohalani and Dan, but we really need to clarify exactly where this money is coming from. It's from the Sports Facilities Fund, and according to a city spokesperson, that money can really only be used for sports-related items, renovations like here at Talking Stick Arena, downtown police and security, and tourism promotion. But many people are also against it. They say this vote is just happening way too fast. The clock about to run out on 2018, and that's why Phoenix Mayor Thelda Williams says the council has to throw up a shot and take a vote on renovating Talking Stick Resort Arena today.
The current contract says 2019, he can declare it's obsolete, and we have to bring it up to current NBA standards. Very, very expensive.
The he she's referring to, Suns owner Robert Sarver, who has said they need renovations or they need a brand new arena.
It's a difference between $150 million and probably $750 million. Not an option.
Laid out on the court, this is what the plan is. $150 million in taxpayer dollars coming from the Sports Facilities Fund and $80 million coming from the Suns. This would also extend their contract with the city to 2037. As for where the vote stands this morning, it's a jump ball and could go any way. Mayor Williams and Councilwoman Deborah Stark telling ABC 15 they would vote yes, while Councilwoman Vinia Guevara planning to vote no. Everyone else not giving us an answer. On that city council agenda, it states that Talking Stick Resort Arena is now the oldest NBA facility that is not in the process of renovations. And you can still voice your opinion on this. That vote is going to happen at 2:30 this afternoon at the city council chambers. Nohalani and Dan.
Keep talking about this same topic here. Our state, we can agree, is plagued with a pedestrian problem, one of the many concerns in the first place that had us start up our Operation Safe Roads campaign.
Yeah, you let us know you didn't feel like you had enough time to cross the street safely at certain intersections.
Yeah, this morning, ABC 15's Megan Thompson took action contacting officials about your concerns and about getting results, all new this morning.
The emails popping up into our Operation Safe Roads inbox. The calls coming into our hotline.
I am concerned about 23rd Avenue and Indian School Road.
And we met up with Jesus Pena to hear his concerns in person.
It was very dangerous trying to cross this street. You figure the crosswalk is your safety zone.
That's one intersection among three others you raised a flag about. Sweetwater and Cave Creek Road, 32nd Street and Greenway, and 19th Avenue and Butler. Viewers telling us they felt unsafe crossing the street because it seemed like there wasn't enough time.
Pedestrian timing parameters are all in this.
Vincent Gelati is the city's traffic signal superintendent, making sure every walk sign and every signal change stays in sync. Gelati says they get the timing from other officials who mathematically measure the length of the intersection, then calculate by national walking standards.
They program that timing in that controller, and then, we obviously verify that it's operating, and it's operating, to its ultimate operational standard.
The city saying after our call, they went to check. 19th Avenue and Butler required no adjustments, but the three others changed, including the one Jesus called into our hotline about.
It feels good that somebody's actually paying attention to citizens who are concerned for this great state.
This story is a perfect example of why we started and why we are continuing to do our Operation Safe Roads campaign. So if you have a concern, an issue, even just a question that you want us to look into, please give us a call, send us an email, all that information on your screen right now. In the city of Phoenix, they also have an app and a phone number for you if you have traffic signal issues yourself, if you have an intersection, Dan, that you cross that you want to have looked at. We have that information on the homepage in this story on abc15.com.
It's important to let us know because then we take that information to those who can make real change. Thanks, Megan.
Child abuse at a Valley daycare, then a cover-up at the hands of employees, even the owner.
The proof right there in the video, a child being smacked and scarred with a broom, but it is not enough to shut down a daycare in Arizona.
Actually, all it costs is $300 to stay open.
We need justice. We just need this to, we need to feel comfortable. This is not right. They can't get away with what they did.
It's a slap on the wrist. That's how the family of that little boy sees it. ABC 15's Megan Thompson continuing our coverage now with why the state says this fine fits the crime.
My son was really hurt, and there's a lot of kids there are in danger.
This mom doesn't want to be identified for the sake of her son, but she does want brighter angels and what happened to be seen everywhere.
Like, I can't get that out of my head that the day I took him to the hospital.
It was back in February when this happened. Daycare workers first telling that boy's mother that her son was bleeding profusely from his face because he tripped and fell. Doctors flagging that story as a lie, proven by the video from inside the facility near Central and Baseline Road. The Department of Health Services investigation ending with a handful of violations. $100 for not enough staff to the number of children in the room, another $100 for general safety standards, and a final $100 for the way they disciplined with corporal punishment, a broom to the face. That total, $300. Why?
All we're allowed to do is fine them a maximum of $100 per violation per day.
Dr. Kara Christ is the director of the State Department of Health Services.
I do believe that we have to weigh the ability for people to identify a mistake, make changes, and move forward and improve and correct.
Lily Adams was convicted of the physical abuse, striking the boy with the broom. She was fired immediately. Denise Sierra, daycare director at the time. She was convicted of helping cover up the abuse, and she's since left the company. But Ruben Sandoval, the owner, was convicted of covering up child abuse. He still works and operates multiple Brighter Angels locations in the Valley. Arizona law lets him do so.
What the convictions will play a role in is if it meets one of the criteria that will either get them not to be able to get a fingerprint card or get them put on that registry. That's where that plays an important role.
For the family, something needs to change. They're pushing for harsher penalties to try and ease the physical and emotional scar they see every day.
They need to pay attention to these kids who are helpless, who don't know what to do, who can't say anything or speak for themselves.
The Arizona Department of Health Services says they'll be monitoring Brighter Angels closer than ever. The governor who oversees that department is backing their decision tonight to keep the place up and running. Reporting in the newsroom, Megan Thompson, ABC 15, Arizona.
Well, it's called Reveille, and it serves as a wake-up call to the men and women who serve our nation. And before the sound of a school bell, it's what veteran Juliana Jackson woke up to for years. She's now a teacher in Gilbert.
ABC 15's Megan Thompson is showing us how this teacher is taking action to show her students that they're not just getting a day off for Veterans Day.
It changes you. It changes your family.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And for Juliana Jackson, service ran in the family.
My father and my grandfather, who were Navy men.
And a brother, an uncle, a cousin, all of their photos hanging in the hallway now, giving students something to see, something to touch, something to understand what it means to give the ultimate sacrifice, like Juliana's cousin.
Jared was killed in action back in 2006.
Jared Monty awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor after his passing by President Barack Obama. But his memory doesn't just live in photos.
The guy asked him, how do you remember Jared? What keeps your memory alive? And he said, I drive his truck.
That song.
Yeah, that's my family.
I drive your truck. I roll every window down and I burn.
The country song I Drive Your Truck by Lee Brice about Juliana's family. She shares that history and the history of the community with students each year.
From kindergarten through 6th grade, special needs, every one of them has filled out a message dedicated to our military veterans and service members.
And outside, she organizes an assembly with a Patriot Honor Guard greeting and speakers sharing their story of service.
These men and women are to be respected and held to the highest esteem. We should take care of them, not just while they're in the military, but we need to take care of them when they return.
Reporting in Gilbert, Megan Thompson, ABC 15, Arizona.
Before the game, fans bundled up and braved the cold for some chilly tailgates.
Our own Megan Thompson also in Glendale with the spirit of the Fiesta Bowl.
When you think of a tailgate, you think of the food, a sizzling grill, a cooler with plenty of ice-cold beers to pass around. But what about a heater?
We had to get up in the attic and get our warm clothes out in the long johns, but it's nice. It's nice to be cold every once in a while because we don't get it very much.
Marcus Ryan and his clan diehards for UCF. While they were very prepared, others were very confused.
We left Louisiana and we came to Louisiana.
Yeah, this is not what we expected.
The humidity. I mean, this is Arizona, right?
We decided to check the forecast of both teams represented here today. UCF, Florida, they're sitting around 80 degrees, and then LSU around 60 degrees, which means Arizona wins for being the coldest with a high only in the 50s. So when you think of this tailgate now, it would seem hot coffee would be the beverage of choice, right?
Oh, we made this signature drink, what is called our Purple Rain, Purple Passion drinks.
Well, I guess not.
Is it a warm drink? No, it's a cold drink. Even in the cold, we have a cold drink, so yes.
But it does keep you warm, though.
It will keep you warm.
It has some good stuff in there to keep you warm.
It's not about warmth, it's about a tradition because every time we do Fireball before the game, the Knights win.
The Valley of the Sun may be getting a different nickname from these out-of-towners. Reporting in Glendale, Megan Thompson, ABC 15, Arizona.
They had a 25-game winning streak, though, so you can pretty much say that about anything you do before the game, right?
Right. There you go.
Yeah, make that a tradition.
Yeah.